what Andre said. Howdy all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play of Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. In the previous episode, we had a bunch of encounters with the hoodlums, including a new hoodlum type, and also somehow mistaking hood boomers for hood mongers. But in this episode, we're nearing the doctor's office and there's a large robot crawling into the water. I am not liking the vibe about that one. But we're also near the doctor's office, so that means Andre will eventually be let out very soon. And then we have to figure out how to deal with it. And all these piggy banks only had red lumps, but we at least got some extra points. And there's a plum juice barrel. Perfect. Now let's see if Roblox can use that barrel to help us cross to the doctor's office. Or not.
Hi, Rayman. What's up down there? Can't you fly? Like everyone else? Unidentified flying object from a galaxy far, far away. Submit to my power, I repeat. Submit. Hi, Rayman. What's up down there? Can't you fly?
Well then, seems like we're on our own. And plus, there's a barricade blocking the way to the doctor's office, so we can't swim over there. But there is a pipe that leads into the mountains and into the water. So, this might be our best option. And by the look of things, this was probably once an ancient civilization or an ancient town that just got lost underneath the seas and oceans of time. And I can tell because there's so many murals around here. This is indeed quite mystical. And of course, we have to battle against the big robot that I mentioned previously. And it's blocking the only way to the doctor's office, so we'll have to take it and the hoodlum operating it out. But first, I want to at least collect these gems that are floating around. And it seems like this hoodlum is shooting out, well, homing torpedoes at us, which we can thankfully outswim. Whoa! And I believe they eventually go out after a while, I'm not so sure. But the question is, how are we going to get there? Well, more or less, how are we going to defeat him? Because we can't use our punches. The only action we can do with the A and B button is practically do a somersault in the water. Which kind of gives me an idea. Aha! Okay, so we'll just have to send out a torpedo to this hoodlum in order to damage it. And we have to also avoid the firing that, well, the hoodlum is doing. And after 3 rounds, he'll practically close the mouth of his robot, and we'll have to avoid being hit by the laser. Alright. Let's send another torpedo to him. Woo! That was a close one. Maybe I should actually move a little bit out first, and then send a torpedo into it. Okay, let's turn and send it out. Alright, he's already, whoa! I actually missed that. But I won't be able to outrun the laser, though. Because he'll keep moving the laser left and right, depending on where we are. To knock him out. Alright, that's number. Dang it, I thought I was gonna get through this one without losing any health. But seriously? Ugh. I'm gonna get some plums first before I attack him again. Whoop. And I missed one because I was being careful not hitting the legs, otherwise it would block my way. Ow! Okay, let's just grab it again, and then send another missile into it. Missile? I meant to say torpedo it. You serious? Oh, come on! I got hit by the laser. That's cheap. Well, at least we can grab some lumps before I take him out again. Whoa! Okay. Let's get some of these gems. Well, gems? I just can't seem to speak. Let's just get another lump. Well, 2 more lumps. Well, actually, I need to get 3 in order to restore all of my health. Thankfully, with all those lumps that... Well, ow. What I'm saying is, thankfully, with all the teensels that we have saved, our health bar has increased significantly. Meaning we can probably survive longer boss battles. So let's just send out this last torpedo, and down he goes! Alright. His machine is out, and is now left at the bottom of the sea forever. Let's go through this open entrance, and hopefully we'll end up at the doctor's office. And indeed, not only that, the weather has cleared up, it's sunny, it's shining, and Glowbox is right over there, looking normal once again. Let's get these gems, and then head inside.
Rayman, you're the coolest ever, and you're my bestest friend.
And you're my bestest friend! I didn't know it was possible to be so lame.
Says you. Well, at least we got all the gems, so let's continue into the doctor's office. At a 100% level score. Very nice. Really, Glowbox? By the sound of that, things are not looking as it seems. Oh, the hoodlums not only are there, but they've blockaded the entrance. Unfortunately, there is a shock rocket here. But, since they're on the other side, they think they're safe. Oh, they're so wrong. And I also want to make a mention again that I accidentally misinterpreted the hood boomers as hoodmongers. I apologize for that. So we've got a couple of hoodmongers, who are the standard hoodlums that we have to deal with first. And there's also something kind of interesting. There are 2 openings here that require a rocket to go up. And there's a secret! Oh, that's interesting. That was a very interesting angle! Well then, that was actually pretty cool. After the last hoodlum was defeated, Rayman jumps for joy. That was a bit of a unique one. But let's actually grab a couple of these gems over here before the power runs out, which it will do. But let's grab this again, and also grab a whole bunch of gems to get a huge amount of points. 54,593. That's nice. Well then, we finally arrive at the doctor's office. Once we're inside, hopefully the doctor will do something about Andre. And before we go in, I need to check. We got all the cages, we got a good score. Hopefully, we might be able to get a smiling Murphy face if we're lucky. And with our score at 161,000 points, I think we're doing pretty well for ourselves. With that being said though, let's see the doctor.
No way I'm going back there. Nope, that doctor gives me the creeps. Rayman, wait up!
Dude, still in bed? Well, must have been a late night. Just kidding. My colleague explained everything. Wow, seems like you swallowed a black lump. Major bummer. You see, black lumps reproduce like some kinda crazy weed. They're really wacky. Let's see if we can, hook you up with something to take the pain away, huh? How's that sound? Hold on a sec here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, oh, dude. Oh, no, nothing can be done. The black lum has like totally lodged himself in your brain, see? And the problem is, I can't find it. But I know a guy who can help you. He's like a specialist in like hollow cavities, and he lives in the desert of the Knaaren. Well, gotta go. Need to go water my plants.
Well then, the doctor from the land of the living dead was a bust, so it looks like we're off to the desert of the Knaaren to find that doctor to hopefully and finally get Andre out of Glowbox. Though, also sadly, this is also the last time we'll ever visit the Teensy Highway, and this is also the last time we'll actually hear this awesome song play as well. I know, sad. And also, again, sorry for the lag. But, however, since we're here, we might as well use this opportunity to get some more points before the end of the level. Because if we get a good amount of points, we should be able to get a happy Murphy face in no time. Alright, get some gems there, get some here. And it looks like we're doing pretty well for ourselves. Barely getting to the 60k. I think this probably might be the most points we ever garnered in a single level. Alright, jump down there, and just make sure we don't fall off. Jump, and jump again. Up here. And get a lot of these points and go through this beautiful astral plane right here. And oh man, look at the combo meter going like crazy! Woo! Well then, it seems like that glitch that I was mentioning a couple of episodes back when falling off have actually reared its ugly head again. That is just a weird thing that happened. But regardless though, it doesn't mean, well, it means that we're not losing any points, thankfully. We'll just have to start at the very beginning of the level, though. Well, not at the very beginning, but at the entrance of the next sector of the Teensy Highway. Might as well also give a good chance to get some gems that we missed on the way there. But, yeah. I'm kind of surprised that this is the last time we'll ever travel on this, because the music in this level is just so darn catchy. It brings up that whole classic disco vibe. But, again, this type of stuff can eventually get a little bit tedious after a while. Dang it, now I have to go back to the beginning again. Oh well, this might as well give us more of an opportunity to get the last few gems, and hopefully get a really good score at the end of the level. Got that gem that I missed. Let's see, can I get the gems on this one? Not all, but I got a good amount. Combo meter going like crazy again. Once we get a good amount of points, all we just have to do now is just reach the end way over there. And then jump down. And here we are. 92%. With that out of the way, off we enter into the desert of the Knaaren.
This burns! Quick, get in the shade!
Yeah, this is the desert of the Knaaren, and it looks very, very bleak. But other than that, though, with 176,000 points, we have 12 cages to find in the desert of the Knaaren, and our score is at 0, obviously. But we got 69,443 points from the land of the living dead with a smiling Murphy face. Sweet. And as Glowbox mentioned, yeah, we might as well try to avoid the sand as possible because it is way, way too hot for us to walk on. So we'll have to cross bones or any paths, well, or any platforms that are above the sand. This is going to be... Whoa! Okay, seems like the hoodlums have already made their way here. I don't think so, Buster. Ow! Nice. We'll just have to be... Nope. Okay, let's just get this one ruby, and then glide down. This is going to be a very perilous operation, because if we can't cross the desert or cross the sand, we'll have to figure out another way to get there.
Hey, Glowbox, will you grant me one final request? Find me some plum juice, please.
Okay. And speaking of plum juice, there's a barrel right here. Maybe he might be able to use his powers to let us get to the summit of this area? I thought not.
Check it out, Rayman. I'm flying. This rules. Yee-haw!
We'll have to avoid crossing this large lake of acid, I think. So we'll have to be very, very careful. But thankfully, there's a whole bunch of lumps here that we can use to replenish our health. And the platforms are going up and down on the acid. That's great. Maybe it's green lava, I'm not so sure. All I know is I can't touch it. And who needs that platform when I can do that? But thankfully, there is a throttle copter that we can use to get across this gap. And also use to get to the top. And looks like we got ourselves a hoodlum blocking the way. Let's break open these chests and get a couple of piggy banks and get some gems. There's an door entrance, but we can't break it open. Now we'll have to get up to that throttle copter over there, so let's grab it again. Let's see where we are. And hover it as best as we can. No, we're not going to make it. Let's see if we can do it again. And do it again as well. And then, whoop! Whoop! And get some gems down here, and then climb up this rocky wall with bones. And get a whole bunch of gems, and get ourselves, well... Whoa! I've never seen that before. But get Lockjaw and just... Oh, I think I'll have to jump in order to reach. And there's a hoodlum down there. And of course, that door entrance is barricaded, so we can't probably go through there unless we have a heavy metal fist. There's some extra gems, and there's a shock rocket too. First time I'm seeing a mission with a level with a lot of power-ups. And that's our 5th Teensy unlocked. And we got a new design of Teensy for the first time. And reminiscent of the old Teensies from the Fairy Council. I wonder what they have to say.
Hey, Big Nose! If you want to cross the desert, you need to use the tunnels.
But it won't be easy. The tunnels are swarming with Knaaren, and those beasts are invincible.
Yeah, well, you got a better idea?
You bet your $1 I do.
Okay, listen closely, Big Nose. Do not let the Knaaren get near you. You understand? Never! If they get their claws on you, you're dead. Well, it was a nice knowing ya!
Okay then. But at least it gave us the heavy metal fist item. Let's get these gems, grab the power up, and... Whoa! Ho-ho! No. That was way too close. Let's break this open. Darn it. Well, that was way too close, because if I fell into the bottom, I would have been a little peeved. But let's just break open this barricade and go on from there. But there's nothing in here. Just rocks. Uh-oh. Oh no. Glow box! And that's not a good sign either. Those, my dear viewers, are the Knaaren. Powerful creatures that will not be destroyed by anything. No matter what you use, no matter what technique you give.
Little grasshopper, hit the gongs. It will attract the Knaarens.
Yeah, I was about to mention that because of them being so powerful, nothing you can do will actually hurt them. So all we can do is just run and hide. And as the teacher stated, the gongs will be very useful. Because once they're rung, Knaaren will follow the noise. But it looks like that we have to use our own brains to avoid being seen and destroyed. And believe me, this is a very, very dangerous world that we're practically in right now. But there is a shock rocket down here. But with that, well, Knaaren blocking the way, we won't be able to get through. Unless, however... there's a gong. And that Knaaren would be like, you rang that. That will probably only give us... Whoa! Hold on. Aha! There's a teensy up there. That gives us our 6-1. And our health bar increase.
I have to give Grandpa his sponge bag.
Well then, with that out of the way, let's hit the gong again. The Knaaren will come back down. And let's just get that power up before we're destroyed by the Knaaren. Let's grab it, get up here, swing across, and then hopefully... Oh! Darn it, I thought I could escape. And now we're down here. Now this level gave me a whole bunch of trouble when I first started playing it. But what we have to do is just carry this rock all the way to that little pressure plate. But also have to avoid being hit by those ghosts. Let's just pick it up, carefully walk it over, lay it down, and then just do it again. Carefully move it over, put it down, and we have the entrance. We got our gems, we got our lums, and we got a shock rocket, which is good because there's a Knaaren blocking the way. So, let's hit the gong, almost, barely missing it. The gong will attract the Knaaren, and we'll just completely run across, and then just wait for him to go back the other way. Will he though? I'm not so sure.
Stick bamboo under his nails.
Okay.
Spit in his eyes.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to get him away from that entrance. What the? Are you serious? Ah, the Knaaren moved, so let's quickly get over here and get a whole bunch of gems and a bunch of lumps if we fail. Let's get over this way quick! Made it. Alright. Whoa! Ow! And we got ourselves another puzzle to solve. All we just have to do is just get this rock over to another pressure plate, open the way through, and also drop this down before we get hurt, otherwise we're gonna lose it and have to start all over again. Let's grab a lump, pick it up, carefully carry it over. Might as well just use the R button to get a good aim at them before they attack me. Let's carefully move it over here. Press A, and... I didn't mean to pick it up. And the way is open. And I think this will be a pretty good ending point for this episode. So, if you had enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play of Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my outside schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. So until then, so long, partner.